There's a lot of smartphone manufacturers out there, but I think few have honestly shaken up the market like Oneplus has. You see, back in the day with the original OnePlus One, they managed to deliver a phone with cutting-edge specs, amazing software, and a price that dropped jaws, simply because they were able to create a phone that could compete with modern flagships at a fraction of the cost. If you fast forward to present time, yeah, their prices have gone up, but they're still delivering a phone that could match, if not beat, more expensive flagships on the market to date at a fraction of that cost. And that's pretty awesome. Now, I'm sure some of you guys are probably thinking, so you want me to talk about the OnePlus 6, huh? OnePlus don't change nothing. They don't change nothing. I got a OnePlus 5T, not worth an upgrade to the OnePlus 6. Nothing. So if you are one of these people, and you're wearing this shoe because it fits, well, let's see if you're right. Let's put the OnePlus 6 up against the Pixel 2 XL. Let's see what happens when we take the ultimate Android smartphone and put it up against the flagship killer. And not only a camera test, but a full-on comparison. But first, before we do that, we gotta roll the thing, so let's go ahead and roll that, and I'll be right back. W-A-R-E. Silverware. Tupperware. Hardware. Colorware. Be unique. Express yourself. Let Colorware show you how. If you don't do it for your phone, do it for yourself. Okay, so now that that's taken care of, let me explain to you how we're going to do this. We're gonna put each of these phones through 5 different rounds. Each round consists of a certain topic. The topics consist of design, performance, software, cameras, and pricing and availability. So without further ado, let's go ahead and dive in to round 1.
I don't care what anything was designed to do. I care about what it can do.
The Pixel 2 XL rocks a familiar design to the original Pixel. Typically, I am rocking a skin on mine, but in order to do this video, I'm gonna have to remove the skin so I can show you the build quality. It's a combination of glass and aluminum on the backside, coupled by a 6-inch 18:9 OLED Quad HD display on the front. The aluminum has a special coating to improve grip, which does work. However, it also makes the Pixel 2 XL feel slightly like plastic. The Pixel 2 comes in a few shades of color, including the Panda version you see here, an all-black model, an all-white model, and a bluish-gray model for the Pixel 2 only. For ports, you're looking at a USB-C port, a SIM card slot, and a fingerprint scanner on the backside. Even though it doesn't have a headphone jack, you can use the included adapter. Just keep in mind you can't charge and listen to your music without third-party accessories. The Pixel 2 XL is also IP67 certified, giving it pretty good water protection. Switching things over to the OnePlus 6, we have a glass back design, which is definitely the trend these days for premium smartphones. On the front, you have a 6.28-inch OLED 1080p display, with the other latest trend resting right there at the top, the notch. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and admit, the notch is getting really old. On the bottom, we have a USB-C port with dash charging support, a single down-firing speaker, and a headphone jack, which is pretty cool. The backside houses the double camera system and a fingerprint reader. The other unique addition the OnePlus 6 has over the Pixel 2 XL is the alert slider, which can be customized within the settings. However, I think straight out of the box, it's perfect. The alert slider is life and something I feel should be on every phone. Despite it being an imitation of the mute toggle switch on the iPhone, it's actually more functional than even Apple's version. OnePlus stated the phone is water resistant, but never actually gave an IP rating. However, after teardowns from iFixit and Jerry Rig Everything, it has been revealed the OnePlus 6 features the same water sealing as an IP67 rated phone. Now, both phones feel extremely premium and great in the hand. Both phones also feature similar, if not the same, water protection, though the Pixel 2 XL might be a little bit more durable because of the aluminum frame, but this is only slightly because the OnePlus 6 does feature reinforced glass for added drop protection. But I gotta give it to the OnePlus 6 in terms of feeling like a better phone, whether it's ergonomics or build quality. The OnePlus 6 has subtle curves that make it fit in the hand better, plus they managed to fit a larger display and a smaller form factor. In terms of build quality, it has nothing to do with the fact that it's got a glass back. Now don't get me wrong and misconstrue my words here. The Pixel 2 XL still feels great in the hand, but it's slightly wider and that plastic-like coating makes it feel a little bit cheaper. Many times I'll pick up my Pixel 2 XL and accidentally click on the power button or even trigger Google Assistant. It's not a huge deal, but in terms of ergonomics, it's still an issue. Plus, with the addition of the alert slider and headphone jack, it only makes the experience that much better. So at the end of the first round, I gotta give it to the OnePlus 6. Let's go ahead and jump into round 2.
And that way you can evaluate your performance while it's slow.
So let's kick this round off with a simple sound test.
Stay focused, get ready now. For real, get ready now. Nitro with the nice flow. Stay focused, get ready now. For real, get ready now. Let's go. Stay focused, here the heat come. Concentrate to the sound of the beat drum. Start it up, take it back now. Check it out. This is how it's going down. Start it up, take it back now. Check it out. This is how it's going down.
So as you might have heard, the OnePlus 6 is actually surprisingly loud, and in fact it's louder than the Pixel 2 XL's stereo speakers, but that's not the whole story. You see, the Pixel 2 XL has front-facing stereo speakers, whereas the OnePlus features a single down-firing speaker. So if you're holding your phone in your hand and you're watching a YouTube video or playing a game, there's a good chance that you're gonna cover that bottom-firing speaker. I've done it several times. Whereas the Pixel 2 XL, you're never gonna cover those front-facing speakers. So in reality, the front-facing stereo speakers are much more practical and in the long run will probably be louder and more consistent than the OnePlus 6. But sound is only part of the story. Let's go ahead and talk about the display. Both phones are rocking OLED displays. The Pixel 2 XL features a Quad HD panel with 100% DCI-P3 color accuracy, whereas the OnePlus 6 features a 1080p panel with great color reproduction. The OnePlus 6 features a notch at the top that can be adjusted into settings. This, of course, is compared to the Pixel 2 XL's larger bezels due to the front-facing speakers. Of course, the Pixel 2 XL has a justifiable reason for its bezels, so it's kind of practical, whereas the OnePlus 6 is just simply following a trend with its notch. The OnePlus 6 and the Pixel 2 XL share similar brightness levels. In fact, I don't think many people will be able to tell a difference between the two, so outdoor visibility is pretty even. The Pixel 2 XL has extremely accurate colors when using the natural mode, however outside of that, colors become extremely saturated. The OnePlus has great color accuracy when using the sRGB mode, but colors appear pretty flat. I usually use the DCI-P3 mode for a great balance option, however the Pixel 2 XL still has a better calibrated display. With that being said, where the Pixel 2 XL wins for color accuracy, the OnePlus 6 wins for viewing angles. The Pixel 2 XL has a blue shift that can be seen during off-axis viewing. Though Google has stated they have fixed the issue, mostly in newer manufactured models, older models like the one that I have still have this issue present. Despite the OnePlus 6 having a 1080p display, if you look at it compared to the Pixel 2 XL, the difference is negligible. The sharpness of the display is absolutely incredible and goes to show you that Quad HD displays or 4K panels are not needed outside of VR capabilities and insane pixel peeping. Let's switch it up now and take a look at the hardware performance of each of these phones. The Pixel 2 XL is packing the Snapdragon 835 and 4GB of RAM, while the OnePlus 6 is working with the 845 and 6 to 8 GB of RAM. Both devices cut through tasks like butter. Normal day-to-day tasks like app switching, multitasking, and web browsing is cake. Gaming and other power-intensive tasks are also no problem for these two phones. The Pixel 2 XL stays cool for a while during gaming, and the OnePlus 6 does the same. Day-to-day performance is so similar with these two phones, I don't think anybody is going to notice a difference. Now, the OnePlus 6 does have better specs, but you guys should already know by now that specs don't tell the whole story. So that just leaves us with battery life. Both phones will give you all-day battery life easily. The OnePlus 6 averages between 5.5 to 6 hours of screen on time, while the Pixel 2 XL is anywhere between 5 to 5.5. The extra battery life on the OnePlus 6 could probably be accredited to the 1080p display. However, the OnePlus 6 does feature a larger display with a smaller battery versus the Pixel 2 XL, so just keep that in mind. Another way the OnePlus 6 dominates the competition in terms of battery is with charging. Dash charging is simply the fastest charging out there and causes little to no harm of the overall battery life cycle. So to wrap this round up, the OnePlus 6 is a better performing device overall, but the differences are so small, I don't think anybody is going to notice a difference. That being said, let's go ahead and kick off the next round.
This company is one of the top software companies in the world.
When it comes to software, things can get very subjective to say the least. Some people prefer all of the extra features that something like TouchWiz comes with, whereas other people prefer the bare bones stock Android experience. So that being said, I'm gonna try to be as fair as possible between these two phones. The OnePlus 6 runs Android Oreo with Oxygen OS on top. The result is a near stock Android experience that runs silky smooth with loads of customization. With options such as lock screen gestures, navigation bar customization, custom button functions, and much, much more. The Pixel 2 XL runs stock Android O with Pixel Launcher on top. The result is Google's interpretation of how Android should look and function. It's about as smooth and fluid of an experience that you can get on Android. While it doesn't have the alert slider or customization of the OnePlus 6, it does have the Active Edge, which allows you to squeeze the phone to activate Google Assistant. You also get guaranteed monthly security patches and Android updates as they're released. So ultimately it comes down to what's important to you. Do you prefer updates or do you prefer customization? For me personally, I prefer timely updates, monthly security patches, and being up to date with the latest and greatest software features over customization. Why? Because I can simply add a launcher on my phone and get back like 90% of all of those customization options. Now, the OnePlus 6 is great with its Oxygen OS and preferred by many. I just prefer the stock option that Google designed themselves because that's how they envision Android, so it's simply gonna run better. That being said, let's dive into the next round.
And soliciting your submission.
The Pixel 2 XL is pretty much the king of smartphone photography for good reason. The HDR engine combined with Google's image processing makes for amazing results. In fact, the Pixel 2 XL is able to accomplish portrait mode better than many other smartphones with 2 lenses. That's not to say it's perfect, but the quality definitely speaks for itself. The Pixel 2 XL features a 12.2 megapixel rear-facing camera with EIS and an 8 megapixel front-facing camera. For video, the Pixel 2 XL shoots 4K up to 30 frames per second and 1080p up to 240 frames per second. The OnePlus 6 features a dual camera system on the back side consisting of a 16 megapixel main camera with OIS and EIS and a 20 megapixel camera with no stabilization at all. The secondary 20 megapixel camera is there for depth information to be used with portrait mode, as well as a 2x digital zoom, which looks incredible. The front side features a 16 megapixel camera which takes pretty decent selfies. For video, the OnePlus 6 can shoot 4K 60 frames per second in BT 2020 or HDR, which looks incredible. It also can shoot slow motion in 1080p up to 240 frames per second and 480 frames per second in 720p. For the most part, both of these cameras perform similar in good lighting, producing great images with tons of dynamic range and sharpness. Both phones perform great with their portrait modes, but the Pixel tends to have a little more flexibility. The Pixel 2 XL definitely has the sharper images in portrait mode, but this will come down to your personal preference. One thing I noticed is that the OnePlus tends to mess up the white balance more and also does not perform as good in low light. Switching things over to the front-facing camera, the Pixel smashes the OnePlus again with insane image quality. That said, I was still really impressed with how good the OnePlus actually performed against the Pixel 2 XL. For video, the Pixel 2 XL pretty much gets spanked in every way.
Alright, it's a quick front-facing camera test, recording video on the OnePlus 6 and the Pixel 2 XL. The crop on the OnePlus 6 is atrocious. Like, all you can see is my nose. Like, it is all up in my eyeball. Meanwhile, I look like darkness on the Pixel 2 XL. Alright, so this is just a quick rear-facing camera test. Got the OnePlus 6. Pixel 2 XL. You can see the difference between the crop, dynamic range, stabilization, audio pickup. Let me know down in the comments, which one do you like the best? So when it comes to cameras, the Pixel 2 XL is the obvious choice for stills, whereas the OnePlus 6 definitely does video better. Both of these phones manage to do a great job in their own way when it comes to camera performance, which is why I'm having a tough time deciding a winner between these two phones. I want to know, which camera on which phone is more practical for your usage? Sound off down below in the comment section. Let me know which one would you pick for the winner of this round. But for now, let's go ahead and dive into the final round, which is...
Name your price.
Now this is one area where the OnePlus 6 for sure kicks the Pixel 2 XL's ass. The OnePlus 6 starts at $529 and goes all the way up to $629 for 256 gigs of storage and 8 gigabytes of RAM. The Pixel 2 XL starts at $849 for 64 gigs of storage and goes up to $949 for 128 gigs of storage. There's also other benefits of purchasing the Pixel 2 XL, such as the unlimited full-res backup of video and photos to Google Photos. The price difference is substantial, especially when you consider these phones are able to be purchased unlocked directly from their manufacturers. So let's wrap this up. Both of these phones are excellent and you can't go wrong with either device. If you own a Pixel 2 XL, you have zero reason to run out and buy a OnePlus 6. But if you're in the market for an Android phone and you're eyeing either the Pixel 2 XL, the OnePlus 6, or any other Android device on the market, let me just tell you that me personally, I would go with the OnePlus 6. I'm not saying it's a better device versus the Pixel 2 XL, because the Pixel 2 XL does a lot of things better than the OnePlus 6. However, I don't think that the gains that you're gonna get from the Pixel 2 XL are worth the amount of money you're going to spend to get that phone over the OnePlus 6. Regardless of your feelings of OnePlus, you can't deny what they're doing is pretty incredible. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smack that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. If you're new here, make sure you go ahead and stick around by subscribing. If you're not new here, if you're new here, if you're just tagging along with a friend, make sure you click that bell icon so you can be alerted when awesome content like this drops. And of course, I'll talk to you guys in the next video.
In hindsight, I'm the only one to blame. I ain't picky, I'm just real specific. I want nothing less than terrific. I know y'all get it. I'm aggressive, so our style is clashing. Killer instinct, and I play with passion. I'd rather be hated for being one of the realest than get a lot of love for these overrated appearances. I can stand on skill alone.